Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. Yes, people, football here, and Arsenal comfortably progress into the 5th round of the Carabao Cup with a gritty 2-0 win over Leeds United at the Emirates. And if you're new to Arsenal reviews, this is a show where we review every single Arsenal game. So if you enjoy Arsenal and football-related content, then my channel, Why Football, is the perfect place for you. And if you are new, please consider subscribing on my road to 700. So yeah, we got a hard-fought victory. I think the performance wasn't necessarily the best in my opinion, but we got the win, and that's what mattered in cup games. That's what we need to get. Goal difference, anything like that, it's just absolutely no relevance whatsoever. Just get through to the next round. I'm going to go through the lineups, then talk about the game itself, and then of course player ratings, and even I'm going to include some comments from the viewers as well, as I put in my community tab with your thoughts of the game, and a couple people responded. So yeah, in terms of the lineup, there was a lot of rotations on the Arsenal side, which I expected. We played a tough game against Aston Villa in terms of that we ran a lot that game. We put a lot of hard yards in. A couple players came off with cramp, and it showed in a lot of rotation. Berliner starting goal, exactly what I wanted. Kolasinac did play. I was fear that he did. To be fair, he didn't do anything wrong. It's just I like to see someone else that is actually going to be used in the future. Carabao Cup are good games for you to play players that can develop and learn their trade, so that in the future they can get to Premier League standards, right? So they can play week in, week out in the Premier League. And Kolasinac, we know his days are limited at Arsenal Football Club, so we're just playing when there's injuries. I would have still played Nuno Tavares personally. He did come on towards the end, Nuno Tavares, but Kolasinac didn't do anything wrong, so I can't hate him on that. Ben White did play, which I thought, I didn't really want him to play, man. We need his peak fitness, and he actually came off injured. I think after tonight he was a bug, Arteta was saying, rather than an actual injury, but he did look injured when he came off, and it was kind of like he didn't get helped off, but was on the floor before he got injured and subbed for Callum Chambers. But I was a bit disappointed in that. Midfielder El Neni, Maitland-Niles was completely fine. Smith Rowe played in cam. For me, I would have played Odegaard, because Odegaard did miss out against Aston Villa in the starting lineup. Of course, he came in for half an hour towards the end of the match, but Smith Rowe's been playing a lot recently. I would have given him a rest. He did then come off as a substitution, which was good, so to give him a breather ahead of Saturday against Leicester. But yeah, I would have started Odegaard, but the rest of the team absolutely fine. Pepe Martinelli and then Nketiah needed the game time. On the other hand, Leeds United, Bielsa, this man's a try-hard Bielsa. He went for his full team, bar Patrick Bamford. That's pretty much their starting team-ish. Let's be honest. Okay, there was no Cooper, but they had the starting keeper. They had Rodrigo. Jack Harrison was playing. Daniel James was playing. Calvin Phillips was playing. Stuart Dallas. Like, come on, man. Like, bar 3 or 4 names. That was their starting 11. So it was looking like a tough game for Arsenal. Premier League opposition, Leeds United. But going into the game now, we started the first 5 minutes really well. Like, really, really well. And then we kind of died down, simmered down, and Leeds started taking control of the first half. The first half was not up to scratch, in my opinion. Not up to scratch whatsoever. Our passes weren't quick enough. We kept getting the ball and going backwards all the time. There was no forward, there was no penetrating passes. We didn't fashion any clear-cut chances. It was only in the last 5 minutes of the first half that we actually started to do something. We had a couple of chances. One where actually Pepe took it away from Martinelli, who would have scored on a cut-back cross. But overall, the first half was nowhere near up to scratch for an Arsenal side. B team, C team, A team, I don't care what team. You need to be playing better passes and moving between the lines quicker, which is very, very slow. And we need to shape up in the second half. And we did shape up in the second half. The first half, the only player that I can really say had a great first half was Ben White. This man collects the ball and he runs with it and he takes on people from centre back. It's so key when he does that. I always say, I love players that run with the ball or do something with the ball, because when you pass it, for the most part, defenders, they just move left, right, and when you pass it, they just follow like that. When you run with something that engages the defence, you can't just stand still as a defender when you run. You have to actually press him, and if you beat that defender, that's a man out the game. So it's so important to run in football. Now, he does it as a centre-back. He got Tyler Roberts a yellow card doing it one time in the first half, where he just sprinted down the middle, and they had to take him out, because it's so key when he does that. It's a bit risky in a back four, especially with only 2 centre-backs, but it worked today. His partner next to Rob Holland didn't do anything wrong, to be fair, but yeah, Ben White, for me, was a stand-up in the first half. Second half, we improved, definitely. We did score from a corner. It was a bit scrappy, like it would bounce around, and eventually Callum Chambers, who did come on for Ben White, who came off injured / illness, he put it in. We were waiting, because I was in the stadium, and so I was like, is it going to be a goal? Is it not going to be a goal? Eventually, it got given. He went to celebrate with Lacazette and the subs and everything. So that was a great moment for Callum Chambers. Literally scored 23 seconds after getting subbed on, and then the game carried on playing, and then we eventually scored our second goal. It was a loose back pass from Leeds. I think it was Cooper who headed it back, or Pascal Strike or something. And then Nketiah lobbed it over Meslier, controlled it, and almost scuffed his finish, but he did get it into the back of the net, and that was Nketiah making it 2-0 against his former club that he went out on loan to. And let's be real, 2-0 through, that's what matters. But if this was a Premier League game, the performance for me, it wasn't really up to scratch. People can say, oh, it was a B team, good performance. Yeah, I get this. So I'm not really like going to dwell on the performance, but look at the 2 goals we scored. We scored a scrappy tap in and a fortunate back pass type like goal where they literally gifted it to us. So we scored a scrappy goal and a gifted goal. That would have been the margins. Other than that, would have been 0-0. I think Leeds weren't at their best. They were passing it well, but they weren't clinical at all in the final third. There was a couple times in the game where they had overloads and counter-attacks, but they just could not punish us. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, I'll take the win. Let's get into the player ratings now. Bernardo for me in goal, nothing wrong for me. I'll give him an 8. The only problem is his passing's still slow, man. He doesn't distribute the ball quick enough. Don't know if he does like confidence in his kicking or throwing or whatever. He's saving, no doubt about it. He made an excellent stop in the first half, but come on, man. He's like, his actual distribution needs a lot of tightening up. He's so slow at times. He's rolling. He takes like 10 seconds and he just rolls it out. Like, what's the point, man? Just roll it out quicker. But yeah, that's poor from Bernardo in my opinion. Cedric for me didn't do nothing wrong. 7. Like, of course, his attacking wise, he's not great, and he got a yellow card, but he did his job today as a 7. Ben White for me, I'll give him an 8. I know if he played the full game, I probably would have given him a 9. Excellent the way he ran out of the ball. And Anas Abdullah commented on my community tab saying Ben White is the answer to City and Liverpool's press. He has better dribbling than most of the forwards. Excited to see him play against Liverpool, and I totally agree. His dribbling out the back is so key, man. So key. The way he can run with the ball and confidence running with the football, it opens so many doors in our transition from defence to attack. And yeah, that's big from Ben White. And if he can progress that, because that will be the litmus test. The games against Liverpool, Chelsea, City, those are the games, not against Leeds in the Carabao Cups. Let's see. We've got a couple more tests to go through, and then let's see if he passes through that, and that will show and prove whether Ben White is the defender that Arsenal needs. Rob Holding next to him, I'll give him a 6 or 7. No, I'll give him a 7 actually, because he didn't do anything wrong either. None of these players did anything wrong. It's just none of them had world-class performances. Kolasinac, I'll also give a 7 to. He went to centre-back towards the end of the game, did nothing wrong. El Neni in midfield, I'll give a 7 to as well. There's a lot of 7s because no one really stood out. No one was awful. Everyone played really safe. But for me, if you want to get into that team for Leicester, you need to do more than play safe. You need to show that you can take the game by the scruff of the neck, which none of these players really did, to be fair. But I only did a 7, and Maitland-Niles next to him, I'll also give it a 7 to. There was a couple passing back in the first half, but for the second half, they did progress the ball well, to be fair. Pepe, for me, I'll give a 6 to. Like, he was probably one of our worst players on the pitch. The attack always breaks down when the ball goes to Pepe. Every time it breaks down, man. Like, I don't know what it is with the guy, but he did one little, like, feint, and which sent a defender, and he's been living off it the rest of the game. He moves at 0.25 speed, in my opinion. Like, he moves at half speed, or like quarter speed, that would be. He always body feints, and no one's buying it anymore. He's done the body feint for 2-3 years in a row that no one falls for it anymore. Like, he doesn't do anything. And what he does also, because when he takes someone on, he doesn't take someone on with his pace. He takes someone with his dribbling moves and his body feints. So what that actually means is he slows down our attack. Because when the ball goes to him, rather than just running at someone and like being as quick as the ball, he slows down and tries to take someone on. And what that does with slowing down, it means that other defenders can get back in time, which means that all he ends up doing when he gets the ball is slow down and then pass it backward to Cedric or backwards to Elneny, and then they have all their defenders back. So he just numbs the attack straight away. For me, Pepe is he's not suited right now, and it's just, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't get into the starting 11 for me. He's fine these Carabao Cup games, but if this was a chance for him to get against Leicester, he did not whatsoever prove to me or Arteta or any of the Arsenal management that he should get into that team against Leicester on Saturday. Emile Smith-Rowe played alright, I'll give him a 7. Didn't unlock a door like he normally does, but for the most part it wasn't his worst game, and you could tell that he was a bit like conserving his energy because he didn't really want to get injured ahead of Saturday against Leicester, which is fair play. Martinelli also had a poor game, I'll give him a 6. Just couldn't imprint himself in the game whatsoever for one reason or another. The Pepe and Martinelli were definitely our weak spots, the wingers. They didn't play, I think Pepe played bad, to be fair, but I don't think Martinelli played bad. He just didn't have the ball enough to do something with it. But when he did get the ball, a couple of nice times he took on defender and actually took him on with pace rather than Pepe takes him on with skill. Martinelli takes him on with pace, but his final ball was just lacking a bit. And then Nketiah, I'll give a 7 to. Wasn't his best game, but he did get a goal, and it was a nice chip over the keeper, and then he almost scuffed the finish, but did get it in the end. So yeah, that's my player ratings for Arsenal's 2-0 win over Leeds. We go through to the 5th round of Carabao Cup. Of course, so it's the big boy competition. Look, it's not a competition that I necessarily want to win by any means. It's the lowest priority of all the competitions, but being out of Europe, it's a competition I'll take. And as always, it's a chance for some of these fringe players to get a game, because when you've got limited games in the Premier League, not everyone's getting game time. So you take these cup games like it's your last game at Arsenal Football Club. And that's what some of these players need to be doing there into the next round. Let's see how far we progress. let's see how far we go. I'd love another game at the Emirates, to be fair, because the tickets are really nice, only £10, £20, so it's definitely a game where you can affordable tickets, not like Premier League where you're paying 50, 60 quid. So yeah, I've been mindful. If you enjoyed this football, if you enjoyed this football video, if you enjoy Arsenal and football related content as a whole, please consider subscribing on my road to 700. I'll catch you guys in the next video.